right, good afternoon, everyone. I mentioned earlier that I'm Crystal Taylor. I am a health and wellness consultant, and today we're going to talk about workday workouts. If you can hear me, type a yes in the chat. Oh, and let me grab my water. Thank you all still see when I step over here. I mentioned earlier to have your water available because they like to call me the water bully. And what I like to do is that I request, not demand, but I request that you drink water when you see me drink water and type cheers in the chat. And just give you a heads up, the training will be recorded. And I know a lot of you are online. Thank you for everyone who showed up online. If you have any questions, please make sure you drop your questions, your comments, your feedback real time in the chat. I'll leave some time at the end for Q&A if you need it, but I like to address your questions real time while you have them. So don't feel the need to wait because I will address them right then and there. All right, so we good? They say that they can hear?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, there we go. So let's get into it. Not real big on going into all of the objectives because I feel like we should just go into the conversation, but we're going to talk about why you have to move your bodies. And I will ask, you all could drop it in chat. How frequently are you working out now? Do you have a workout regimen? And let me say this too. A lot of times you'll hear me switch out and instead of using the word exercise or workout, I may just say movement because a lot of times people, when they hear the word exercise, they cringe up a little bit. It feels like another task or a chore. But when we talk about movement, it feels like something you get to do, right? So I'll switch those words out. And a lot of people say, well, Crystal, I want to work out, I want to exercise, but I don't have a lot of time. My time is busy. My schedule is busy. I feel like I don't have any extra time. So we'll talk about how to make exercise a part of what you're doing so that it does not feel like something else that's added to your to-do list. What types of exercises are good for you? Let me say this, everything is not for everybody. Just because it works for someone else, just because someone else loves it, that does not mean that you should do it. There are way too many options out there for you to feel like you're stuck into doing what you see other people do. But even though this training is supposed to be all about workday workouts, you can't just exercise without also including nutrition in it. And that's so important to discuss because most people say, Crystal, I can move. I'll go walking, I dance, I skate, I hike, I walk my dog, I do all of these things. But when it comes to eating, that's where I drop the ball. So we have to talk about that. Let me know if that's you. Let me know if eating in your diet is your biggest struggle. Type that in the chat. And then I'll give you all some tips on how you can add some extra movement into your day. So why do we want to exercise? Why do we want to move our bodies? There are three main reasons. One, it's going to improve our physical health. Two, it's going to improve our mental health. And then three is going to help prevent injury and disease. So we're going to talk about each of these individually. So let's jump into how it enhances your physical health. Now I'll go ahead and put this down. So when you are moving your body, again, whenever you see exercise on the screen, if it helps you, scratch that out in your mind, put the word movement in there because that feels better, right? But when we're exercising, what's happening is that we are building a resilience in our body. Our body is what they say is true. If you don't use it, you will lose it. So the opposite works as well. The more we move our bodies, the more we use our bodies, the stronger it gets. Now, does that mean that you're necessarily going to bulk up, get muscle, tone up? Not necessarily. But what it does is that it builds that muscle memory in your body so that it can handle more things. It can last longer. It does get stronger so that we can reduce the chances of hurting ourselves, right? And we're going to talk about what types of exercise. I almost jumped ahead, but I'm going to wait and hold that off, right? With a lot of people too, when they exercise, the main reason is to lose weight or to at least maintain their weight. You cannot, I will stress this. Yes, abs are made in the kitchen. Drink some water. However, when you include movement with how you're eating, you're going to get to your goals faster, right? I don't know if y'all know this, and we'll talk about nutrition in a little bit, but 1 pound is made out of 3,500 calories. So every time you burn 3,500 calories more than you consume, you're going to lose 1 pound. And it works the opposite way in converse. If you consume 3,500 more calories than you burn, then you're going to gain, right? But so if you decide, I'm going to reduce my calories, I'm going to reduce my calories, could you get to your goal? Sure. But if you reduce the calories that you're consuming and increase the calories that you're burning by moving your body, you're going to get closer to the weight that you want. Let me know if that makes sense. Now, also what's going to happen is because you're exercising, you're moving your body, you're building that strength, you're building that resilience, your body wants to be in this posture. You're going to get a stronger posture. You're going to have a more confident posture, more aligned posture because your body is strong and is in the position that it's supposed to be in, as opposed to not moving your body. And it's like those muscles and those tendons are decreasing and they're deteriorating. So that you do find that when you're not exercising, you may slouch more, which means your body is not as aligned as it's supposed to be. And honestly, when you exercise, when you move, you feel good. So you are naturally walking around with your chest out, with that confidence, and that naturally improves your posture. As a matter of fact, especially for my people who are online right now, check your posture right now. Sit up. It's so easy for us to slouch over, we don't realize it, or to slouch in our chairs and we don't realize it. Your spine should be aligned from your head to your neck to your waist. All of it should be aligned. All right. And then also, because we're moving our bodies and we are maintaining our weight, possibly losing weight, we are increasing our chances of not being diagnosed with health related and weight related illnesses and diseases. Because when we gain more weight, now we are putting ourselves at a risk of being diagnosed with things like type 2 diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, right? So just moving your body can help reduce those, the chances of being diagnosed with that. Let me know if those make sense. Are we good over there?
So
Yes.
I forgot to enable the chat feature, so if you want to get a response, they can unmute their mics.
Oh, okay.
So I'll just talk directly to you.
Okay, perfect. So I was just informed that the chat feature is not enabled. So if you have a question or a comment, please don't hesitate to go ahead and unmute your mic and just jump in and we can address it. Okay? All right. So we talked about the physical benefits of moving our bodies. Let's talk about the mental. Most people, again, when they think about exercise, they do it for losing weight. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to look good. There's nothing wrong with vanity, right? Everybody wants to look good, feel good, wants to be noticed by others. That's fine. But I will tell you that I found that the best, in addition to the health, we're going to talk about that next, but the best benefit of moving our bodies is for our mental health. Do I appreciate the aesthetics of it? Sure. However, what I absolutely know is that if this isn't right, nothing else is going to work. Let me know if you, hopefully you know that too. Maybe you can just do some reactions, do a thumbs up if you agree with that, or if you found that. And just to share a personal story really quickly, I didn't realize the mental health benefits of exercise and movement until around 2008. In 2008, my mom was diagnosed with cancer, and she unfortunately lost that battle 18 months after. But the irony of it is that those 18 months that she was battling for her life, battling with her health, that was probably the healthiest that I ever was, because I noticed that every time I was stressed, I would go work out, I would go run, I would go lift weights. And I did that because I realized that during those exercise sessions, that was when things were making more sense to me. I knew what questions to ask the oncologist. What they said made more sense to me. I was able to manage my mood better with knowing that I was going to lose my mom, right? So when we think about the benefits of moving our bodies as it comes to our mental health, it's just science. Exercise has been proven to be the best stress reliever that there is, hands down. Unfortunately, it's the most overlooked and the most underused, but it works because when you move your body, and I don't mean running a marathon, I don't mean lifting weights, something as simple as going for a 5 to 10 minute walk is going to naturally reduce your cortisol, and cortisol is that stress hormone. And what's going to happen is that it's going to increase the good hormones, like your dopamine and adrenaline, things like that. So your mood is better. You have more confidence. You can focus more. You're more productive at work. Because you're in a better mood, relationships are getting stronger. It helps you remember things because as we're exercising and moving, we're getting the blood pumping through our bodies. It's going through our brain. So now we're more focused. So this sounds very counterproductive, but hear me out. Stick with me. In those moments where you feel tired, in those moments where you feel like you can't focus, that's the time to get up and take a 5 to 10 minute walk. You'll be amazed at the productivity that you have when you come back. All right? So let me know, will I be able to see the reactions up top? I hope so. Let me see, test it out for me. Somebody give me a thumbs up reaction, because I'm just curious to see if I can see it on the screen. Just want to make sure that we're still cooking with gas. All right, yeah,
I see that, mine.
you can't see it? Okay,
You-
okay, perfect. All right. So we talked about the physical benefits, the mental health benefits. Let's talk about, there we go. Oh, I went too far. Click, oh, I clicked. Oh, okay, we're right, all right. So when it comes to movement, remember I told you I'm using the word movement as opposed to exercise. When you do these things, you're gonna see changes in your life, good changes. Do it, and it says often, but I think I'm gonna use the word frequently, and when I say, I think the word frequently fits better because frequently just means more of a routine. So often, oh, there we go. Now I can see hands. Yay. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for the view. All right. Because when we stick with it, it's really about consistency. And we hear consistency is key a lot, but I would like to add something to it. Consistency and patience, meaning trusting the process. A lot of times we expect things to be quick, fast, but I do want you to ask yourself, if you are one person, if you're a person who's been focused on losing weight, maintaining, probably losing weight, ask yourself how long you've been trying to do that. Most people since COVID, right? But a lot of people 10, 15, 20. Some people say all my life, all my adult life. If it's been a struggle that long, don't expect to fix it overnight. We have to be consistent with it. The same way eating one salad does not make you skinny. One workout is not going to make you skinny either. Think about this. You can run a marathon that one day. That's not going to give you as much benefits as if you're walking 10 minutes a day for 5 days a week. Your body will eventually forget that one workout that you did. But if you're consistently, that's the word, do it consistently, not frequently. I want to use consistently. If you're doing it consistently, then you're building that habit, right? But in addition to that, you have to make sure you're doing it correctly. When we're doing exercises and we're not focused on form, one, you're not getting the benefits out of that particular exercise because you're not even hitting the muscle group correctly, but you're also increasing your chances of possibly hurting yourself. All right. Do it with a great attitude. Oh, we're going to talk about that a little bit more. As a matter of fact, it might be different sections for this, but I'm going to touch on it really quickly. How many of you, and because I can see your reactions now, give me a thumbs up if you've ever said, I don't like to exercise, but I do it because it's a necessary evil. Let me know if you've ever said that, if you've ever felt that. If you go into it saying that it is any type of evil, your body is hearing that. The body listens to your words. Words have energy. So if you feel that, and you're not going into it with a positive attitude, you're not going to get the results that you want. And keeping track of your progress. What gets measured gets managed. So when you're just doing it, you're not keeping track, you're not seeing if you're getting stronger, if you're plateauing, or even if you're regressing. But if you are tracking to say, okay, today I was able to do 10 push-ups in 1 minute, and you track that. The next time you do push-ups and you time it for 1 minute, maybe you do 10 again, maybe you do 8, maybe you do 12. So if you see that you wrote 12 and you look back and say, oh, I did 10 last time. Wow, I improved. That alone is an achievement that gets you excited. Once you start, let's say, once you start to see results, It becomes addictive. So then you say, if I can do 12 this time, how many can I do next time? Right? So this is a good question. I get asked this question a lot. And cheers, please drink some water, because water is bae. How often should we exercise? You want to move your body. Again, remove that word exercise and put the word movement there. You want to move your body as frequently as you can. However, that does not mean every day you should do a structured workout. You should not. Your body needs rest. Rest is part of the process. If you do not give your body rest, I promise you it will take it. I promise you that. So you want to make sure that you are moving your body most days of the week. You want to go for about 20 minutes up to about 2 hours. Honestly, I personally love 30-minute workouts. I call them dirty 30s, in and out. Keep on moving. Because if you're doing a harder workout, you can go for a short amount of time. But if you're doing more of a low impact, you can go for a longer amount of time. It just depends on what the time that you can allot to it. So say for instance, in the mornings, I do 30-minute workouts just because that's my schedule. I get up, do my workout so I can get to work. But in the afternoons, I have a little more a little more time. In the evenings, I have a little more time. So I may run if that's my morning workout, but in the afternoons, I can walk, same distance, but just a lot more time, right? So when you are deciding what you're going to do, you do want to look at those factors. How much time do I have? What are my goals? Because if you know that you want more, you can say, hey, I can say, let me take this off you. I'll put it on me. I do my afternoon walks, but maybe I'll say, you know what? I think I want to tone up a little bit more. I think I want to work on my endurance a little more. I want to focus on more real cardiovascular activities. Then I could say, instead of just walking, maybe I'll do intervals. I'll do the same distance, right? And you can switch it a few ways. You can change the time or the frequency or the intensity. So I can say I'm doing the same distance of my 3.5 miles, but maybe instead of just walking it, or let me remove the word just, instead of walking it, I'll do intervals. Or I can say, I don't have the energy for intervals to walk, run, walk, run. So instead of doing 3.5 miles, today I'll do 4. Now, hopefully that makes sense. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. But at the end of the day, what I do encourage you to do is to ask yourself, what should I do today? Not should I do anything today? What should I do today? Because we do want to be a little more active. Maybe it is walking your dog more frequently. Maybe it's parking further away. Maybe it's taking the stairs as opposed to the elevator. Maybe get out there and work in the yard. And yes, all of that counts. All of that counts. It does not have to be what we see on social media. It does not have to be extreme workouts or anything like that. Moving your body to where you're burning calories, getting your heart rate up a little bit, maybe sweating a little bit, notice a change in your breathing. All of those things count, including dance. And it doesn't have to be structured like Zumba. I always tell my clients, put on your favorite song and just dance it out. That's still burning calories. Now, I mentioned doing it correctly. If your form is incorrect, it does not count. It does not. But also, I mentioned earlier that when we're not doing it correctly, we're putting ourselves at risk for hurting ourselves. So I'm going to say something, and I want you to think about it. One thing that I notice a lot of people do, and they don't even realize it. They go up the stairs incorrectly. And I can almost put my money on it that someone, if not 50% to 70% of you who are listening right now, you've experienced knee pain and or lower back pain. Yes? The next time you go up the stairs, I want you to pay attention to how you're going up the stairs. And yes, using the stairs is an exercise, so that's what I'm talking about. A lot of people, when they go up the stairs, they have the habit of walking on the balls of their feet. When in actuality, you should use your entire foot to go up the stairs. Why is that important? When you're on your tiptoes, and I'm gonna back up a little bit so y'all can see me. When you're on your tiptoes, all of that stress is being put on the ball of your foot and it is impacting your knee. Because now if you're flat footed, your foot gets all of the weight that you have to lift. So you're able to use the entire foot to lift your body. When you're on your tiptoe, you're putting that pressure and that stress on that knee. That's part of the reason why so many people have knee problems. Now, what you'll notice is when you actually go up the stairs correctly with your whole foot, if you stood up right now, and I don't know where you are, but if you can, stand up right now, and I want you to try it. I want you to press down on the ball of your foot, see how that feels. Then I want you to press your entire foot down, and you'll notice that you'll feel it in your hip, in your glutes, in your hamstrings. That's what you want to feel, because then the weight is being evenly distributed against, through your legs, as opposed to just being put on your knees. Okay? Somebody needed that. I don't know who it is. When I go off tangent like that, it's like the ancestors are whispering, like, tell this story, tell this story. Somebody needs to hear. So you're welcome if that's you. All right. Now, also, a lot of times people avoid trying new things because they're scared. They're afraid of looking silly. A lot of times women are afraid, and men are afraid to lift weights if they've never done it before. But a lot of women may fear bulking up like a man. You will not, because you're not a man. You don't have as much testosterone as men. We have testosterone, but not as much as they have. So if there's something new that you want to try, it sounds interesting to you, you've heard that it has benefits, but you're not exactly sure how to do it, ask for help. Seek out help in many ways. If you're in the gym, if you see someone doing an exercise, ask them about it. If you see a trainer, ask them for help. Or you can get online. There are a gang of tutorial videos, and not just videos of people doing things, but talking you through how to correctly do it. Get that guidance and that help to make sure that you're doing it correctly. You can also use books, magazines, go old school. Get the help that you need, because the thing is, a lot of times people will avoid trying other things because they say, well, I won't be able to do it as well as they do it. I won't be able to do it as well as I want to be able to do it. You won't in the beginning. You won't. And that's okay. But the goal is to just try and then try to become 1% better tomorrow than you were today. All we're looking for is progress. There's no such thing as perfection. And I'll tell you this too. In your workouts, when you first start, and I mean a specific workout for the day, especially if you're doing circuits. I like to do circuits. I like strength training. That first set is always meh, because you're waking your body up. The second set, your body's like, okay, we did that once. Let's go again, because I'm gonna do better. The third time is really just about focusing and getting it done. Because a lot of times when you're first starting, especially when you're trying something new, it's hard for your body to get into it because your brain is working so much. You're exerting so much mental energy that you're taking away from the physical energy that you have. Your body only has so much energy, so it's being split. Physical, mental, physical, mental. But once you get past that mental hurdle of trying it at the beginning, your body is ready to kick in and tell the brain, chill out, we got it, we're gonna do this, and then it can work harder, okay? And making sure that whatever you try, you are using and or wearing the proper equipment. If you're a runner, you should wear shoes that shoes that are cloth as opposed to leather, because your feet are going to naturally swell. So you want to give them space. Wearing leather shoes, that does not work. Wear the proper shoes, whether you're playing tennis, running, playing racquetball, lifting weights, proper shoes. If you, and for people want to try running, not wearing clothes that are too big because it catches the wind and it makes it harder, right? So having your sports bra, having your shorts, mouthpiece, gloves, any of those things that you need to make sure that you are comfortable and you're being safe, right? We good? Hopefully you all are good. If you're good, give me a thumbs up. And again, if you have any questions, and I see that there's a hand raised, so that means you have a question that is raised and you didn't take down. If you have a question, please feel free to unmute. And I'll give a few seconds. All right, I think the hand may just be raised. Forgot it was up. All right, so let's talk about the obstacles. Because most people, I'll tell you this, what I'm telling you right now, none of this is really, really new. You may not have really heard about the stairs thing, but for the most part, We know that we're supposed to move our bodies. We know it, right? But sometimes we say, well, there are reasons why we don't. And I'll say this too. Don't let your reason become an excuse. What we're seeing right now, the obstacles, these are reasons. A reason is there to allow you the opportunity to find a solution. Because too often we'll say, well, I can't because, and then we'll sit on that and we just don't do it at all. I don't have the motivation. Okay. Well, if you don't have the motivation to do this particular exercise, because a lot of times the motivation may lie in what you decided, what you thought you wanted to do. I'm one of those people. I write out my workouts the night before. And when I go to bed, I know what my workout is going to be the next day. That helps with the brain to relax it so it can get prepared for whatever the exercise is going to be. I can't tell you how many mornings I woke up and my body's like, nah, or not even my body, my mind, my brain is like, nah, I don't want to do that today. I don't have the energy to do that. And you hear I keep adding the word that. So in that moment, even though I don't have the energy or the motivation to do the workout that I planned, I just say, okay, well, what else can I do just to keep that rhythm of moving? And typically those are some days where instead of it being an afternoon walk, I'll do a morning walk just to keep moving. Motivation, you're not always going to be motivated. You're not going to always be motivated to do all the things that you thought you want to do. But the goal is to keep your eye on the why. Why did you say in the first place that you even wanted to do these things? That why doesn't change. The why is still there. But we don't want to have the reasons that turn into excuses keep us from. So that's when we have to pivot. That's when we have to adjust and we have to adapt. You might say, well, I don't have time. You may not have time for what you plan, but there's always time. And I'm gonna give you all some examples on how you can add movement into your day. I like to call them sneaky workouts. So you may not have time for a full workout, but there's still time because, everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. And this is what I want everyone to do. Everyone. I want you to grab your phones right now. For anyone who says, well, I don't have the time to work out. Grab your phone. And I want you to swipe down to your menu. And I want you to hit that gear that opens your settings. Yeah, you're doing it over? Okay, good. And when you go into your settings, you go to battery. Right? You see battery? Then click on battery. It'll tell you what apps you use the most on your phone. Look at how much time you've spent on those apps in the last 24 hours or in the last week, whatever setting it is. It's probably a little shocking, like, oh, I didn't realize I was doing that. So it's a matter of priorities. Where are you deciding to spend your time? And we're going to talk a little bit. I'll jump into it now. For anyone who feels as if they don't have time, as I said, I'm going to talk about sneaky workouts. Maybe we just need to merge those. I asked this question before at another company, and one of the ladies said that she realized that she spent a lot of time on Peacock on her phone. So I was like, that's great. You're watching a movie. You're watching a show. You can walk while you're doing it. So it's not a matter of not having time. It's about how you're choosing to spend your time. And you may say, well, the work environment doesn't, I'm working a lot, we're doing more work with less people. Okay, how can you incorporate movement into your work? Right? Can you get standing desks? Can you take walking meetings? And maybe you may say, well, Chris, I have physical limitations. I'll tell you this, from 2016 to 2019, I had a few surgeries, good major surgeries. Surgery on my foot, 4 hysterectomy, where my body was limited. But that does not mean that I couldn't do anything. We may not be able to do what we wanted to do, but there's always something else we can do. Now, I will say this, if you have core issues, like I said, when I had my hysterectomy, I just had to sit. There was nothing else I could do. Your core, your abs, your back, leave it be. But if your foot is hurt, I was in a boot for, how long was I in the boot? I think I was in the boot for 5 months. So no, I couldn't run, but I could still do upper body. There were other things I could do. I could do seated workouts. Again, utilizing the resources that are available to us online. You can go on YouTube very quickly and say, give me a 5-minute chair workout. I don't have equipment. Great. Full body workout that requires nothing but body weight movement. Whatever you need, I guarantee you it's out there. It's just about removing those excuses. And I will change it to excuses because sometimes we look at them as obstacles, but those are just reasons to say they're highlighting the things that you have to work around in order to get the goals, the results that you want. All right, let's see. Okay. Good. There we go. So I mentioned earlier about having the right attitude. If you ever call exercise or movement a necessary evil, it's not going to work. It's like putting lipstick on a pig. You have to go into it and say, you know what? I'm going to do this because it's good for me. Whether it's good for my mental, whether it's going to help me lose some weight so I can get off of this medication or at least reduce my medication. If it gives me more confidence, I'll be able to fit into that outfit again. Whatever it is, say, you know what? I know. Because, okay, let me back up. What I absolutely know is getting started is the hardest part. Putting on your shoes is the hardest part. Pressing play is the hardest part. Once you get into it, and once you finish it, there's a certain level of confidence and pride that you have, especially if it was something challenging that you couldn't do. You're like, wow, I didn't know I could do that, but I did it. There's not a workout that you're going to regret unless you end up hurting yourself. But if it's just a regular workout, you're like, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it. It was low impact. I did it because it was something more than what I did yesterday. Now, again, whatever you're doing, you should enjoy in some type of way. You should not have to drag yourself through something that you don't like. I have a good trainer friend. She despises running. Don't run. So she went back to lifting weights. There's so many different things that we can do. So many different things. Like I went swimming this morning. Love swimming. I'm not going swimming if I don't like it because this is the thing. If you're doing something that you don't like, you're not going to do it frequently. You're not going to get results. And you've wasted time doing something that you don't like when that time could have been allotted to something that you do like. Because when you like it, you look forward to it. Everyone knows I go swimming on Wednesday mornings. Tuesday evening, I'm excited. I'm like, oh, tomorrow is swimming day. I'm excited about it. That's how you should feel. Like maybe you don't have to sing and dance like I do, but at least find something that you like, especially if you're doing it with other people that you enjoy. That's another key. Going walking. I personally like to walk by myself. That's when I zone out. That's my time for me. But it's also a great time to catch up with others. So if you know that you're going to see your coworker, you're going to see your friend, you're going to see your cousin during that time, you look forward to it more. All right. And again, we're looking at what our results are, our reason. And I will say this too. What we're doing today isn't even for today. 48 and a half, and I always add my half to it, right? Like when we were little, we say, I'm 6.5, I'm 7.5. I tell people I'm 48 and a half because somebody didn't get this day, right? So I own every day that I have, and I'm grateful for it, right? But the workout that I did this morning, the workout that I did yesterday, it's not for right now. It's for when I'm 68, when I'm 78. It's about function, independence, vitality. All right. Those are things we want to look forward to. Now, where a lot of people struggle is that when they set their sights on moving and exercising again, maybe sometimes the goals that we set aren't realistic. Sometimes we're setting ourselves up for perceived failure. And I say perceived because you don't fail. I'm a firm believer you either win or you learn. So if something doesn't go the way that you wanted to, or a way that you planned, then you've learned what doesn't work. Maybe it doesn't work for you to exercise 6 days a week. Maybe 3 days is better. Maybe it does not work for you to go running. Maybe cycling is better. But we have to set our goals that are attainable because I don't know if you all know this, but the second Friday in February, I believe it is, I believe it's February, maybe January, is National Quitters Day. They actually have a holiday, Google it. They have a holiday for people who are giving up on their New Year's resolutions. They say, you know what, this isn't it. And most people give up on those resolutions because they set goals that weren't attainable. They get so excited, and kudos for any of you who've ever set those goals and do not feel bad for not finishing. I just want you to reevaluate what didn't work for you. What made you decide to stop? Stop doing that particular thing. And a lot of times people will say, oh, I'm so motivated. This is my year. This is my month. This is my time. I'm going to get it together. And we pack on way too much stuff. We get the gym membership. We join all of the online challenges. And at the gym, we're doing 2 or 3 classes a day. You're burning your stuff out, especially if you haven't been doing something on a routine basis before. So we want to set goals that are attainable. If you're just starting out, say, you know what? I'm going to walk for 10 minutes a day, 3 days a week. I'm going to go for a 10-minute walk after I eat my lunch. And every time you achieve your goal, celebrate it. There's no such thing as a small win. But we want to set smaller goals so that we can keep getting these wins, because every time we get a win, it boosts our confidence and we like that feeling. So we want to keep going. So if you're setting goals to lose weight, make it attainable. Focus on 1 pound at a time. Right now, it is August the 27th. I would really hope you don't say you want to lose 2 pounds by Labor Day. That's in a few days. 5 pounds by Labor, that's a few days. But you could say, you know what? By the end of the year, I'm going to lose 5 pounds. That's more doable. All right? Maybe you want to increase your flexibility. Maybe again, you just want to fit into your old clothes. Set the goals that work for you. Don't pay attention to anybody else and what they're doing. I was reading Brene Brown this morning. I'm reading Atlas of the Heart. I love Brene. And it's all about emotions. And this particular emotion, and she said it's not really an emotion, but it's something that evokes emotion, is comparison. So she talked about the irony of it. She talked about swimming. I was like, oh, I'm about to go swimming. But she talked about when you're swimming laps and you see the lap lines at the bottom of the pool. She talked about the importance of staying in her lane and focusing on what she's doing, as opposed to looking at the people in the lanes next to her and feeling the need to compare or compete. She said she actually hurt herself trying to outswim a 20-something-year-old one day. But we focus on what works for us. My goals will not be your goals and vice versa. They should be, because we're our own individuals. Okay? Now, when it comes to your workouts, something that is very important, especially when you're just starting out and you're creating a routine, I need you to schedule it. Put it on your calendar like all of those other meetings that you have, and don't cancel. You won't cancel the other meetings on your calendar for other people. So why would you cancel the ones for yourself? And if I can get you a tip, give you a bonus. I told you that my workouts are planned the night before. Something else that I do before I go to bed, I pull out everything that I need for my workout in the morning. I pull out my outfit, my sports bra, my socks, my shoes. Everything is there so that in the morning, that's one less decision I have to make. I don't have to decide what I'm going to wear, what I feel like wearing. It's just there. Whatever I pulled out the night before is what I'm going to wear. That removes another excuse for saying, oh, I was just annoyed. I didn't have the brain with the bandwidth to do it. Because I don't know if you all know this or not, but we make 35,000 decisions a day. Did you know that? 35,000. So we want to reduce that decision fatigue and just pull out the day before so you can keep going. All right. And I mentioned tracking our progress. What gets measured gets managed. And I'll tell you this, even though I sure train, I actually love it. One thing that I've always been weak in, even when I was in the Army, I struggled with pull-ups. So a few years ago, I said, hey, this is my goal. I want to be able to do 10 unassisted, consistent pull-ups. And so what I did was every time I did a workout, I would write down how many pull-ups I can get. If it's not working for you, okay, I realize maybe I shouldn't try at the end of my workout because I'm spent. Excuse me. Maybe instead of doing pull-ups, maybe I need to try chin-ups. But whenever you're tracking your progress, you can see if it's not working for you and how you need to reevaluate it, or you may knock it out the park and reevaluate and say, maybe I didn't challenge myself enough. And when you experience that, oh, that's a great feeling. You get to pat yourself on the back and realize that you're much stronger than you had given yourself credit for. Okay? But let's go into at work. Cheers, because we're talking about a lot at the gym, at home. Let's talk about these workplace workouts, the workday workouts. Because you spend the majority of your waking hours here at work. A lot of us are sedentary, sitting at desks all day. What are some things that you can do? When you have calls, if you have meetings, if you don't have to sit at your desk and be at your computer, don't. Get up and take a walking call, especially if it's on Zoom. Hopefully, somebody right now who's logged in, you're out walking while you're listening to this. Multitask. If it's an in-person meeting and you all don't have to sit down at a computer or at a table or desk, ask that person, hey, you mind if we walk while we take this call? This campus is absolutely beautiful. Well, while we take this meeting, this campus is beautiful. Get out and walk. And honestly, again, remember I said, well, my mom was sick. I ran so much because my brain, it woke me up with memory, productivity, confidence. So the creativity that could come out and the problem solving that can come out from a walking meeting will be way more productive than if you were just sitting at these tables or at a desk. Because when you're just sitting, your body is sedentary. The blood is not flowing, the oxygen is not flowing the same way as if you were getting up moving. Okay? You can also stretch at your desk. When's the last time you stretched? And we're gonna go over some stretches. But you probably noticed that if you've been working, especially if you're in the weeds working on a project, when you stand up, what do? Oh, stretch it out. You feel tight because your body, it's like anything else, it remembers. If I did this, if I kept my hand like this the entire training, by the end of the training, it would be hard to loosen it back up because again, if you don't use it, you lose it. If you're not using the mobility and the flexibility that you have, you will lose it. Okay? Something else you can do, strength training at work. It's one of my favorites. I'm like, I don't want to get on the floor. You don't have to. You could easily, I'm not going to do it and embarrass myself because these tables have wheels, but you could easily do push-ups off of a table or a counter. That's stationary, of course, or the walls. You can do calf raises, right? While you're washing your hands in the restroom. Before you use the restroom or after you use the restroom, you can do squats. There are a number of things that you can do while you're waiting on your food to be warmed up. You can do side bends, right? There are a lot of things that you can do to incorporate movement into the things that you're already doing. And if you are one of those who is sitting a lot, set reminders on your phone to get up every 20, 30 minutes to stretch. I promise you, your body will love it and it will thank you, right? So I mentioned that we could talk about movement all day, but we also have to talk about food to make sure that you're getting all of the benefits of doing your movement. Because what you don't want to do is get rid of the progress that you've made by moving your body with eating, right? And I'll say this, if you're one of the people who've ever said to yourself, well, since I did this workout, now I can't have this food, please stop. Stop getting rid of your results, but then also stop treating yourself with food as if you're an animal. You're not. You're not. All right. So let's talk about food. 80% of weight management is determined by your eating habits, but again, you can't just eat and be fit without exercise. Can you lose the weight? Sure, but you still need to use that body. You can't exercise to get rid of how you ate. Think about it this way. In a normal workout session, let's just say you had a 2 hour workout session. Yes, you may have burned 600, 700 calories in that workout session, right? But what did I say, an hour, 2 hours? Think about how much longer you have to eat throughout the day. That's only 1 or 2 hours out of 24. You're making decisions. That's one workout. You're eating at least 3 or 4 times a day. So you're still making decisions on the calories that you're putting in your body. Because you can eat 500 calories in 5 minutes. And then it would take you 2 hours to burn that off. So that's a way to put that into perspective. But also when you're eating, this is something I want you all to take with you. Two things. One, there's no such thing as good or bad food. We said that a lot too. People say, it's my cheat day. I'm not supposed to have. There's no such thing as a cheat. No, because again, the same way if you said exercise is a necessary evil, if you're telling yourself this is a cheat meal or a cheat day, then your body is not even able to really enjoy it because your brain is telling you you're not supposed to have this, as opposed to just being more balanced and saying it's just part of the process, right? But with it not being good or bad food, I want you to look at food as fuel. Calories, by definition, are sources of energy. That's how we get through our day. So you're just determining what type of energy and what type of fuel you're putting in your body. So what I want you to do is, I just want you to sit back and think about how certain foods make you feel, not emotionally or mentally, but your body physically. What do you eat when you feel lethargic? What do you eat that makes you feel energetic? Those are the things I want you to focus on, because we want those foods that still make us feel as if we're energetic, that we still focus, that don't make us want to take a nap. Those are the foods that we want. And of course, we have to drink water. The standard, and as a matter of fact, drink water if you have not. The standard used to be 8 cups of water, 8 cups of water. That's not enough for everybody. Your body is made up of at least 70% water. So that's why now the standard is you should drink half of your body weight in ounces of water each day. So if you're 200 pounds, that means you should aim to drink about 100 ounces of water a day. Every part of your body is made of water. Your heart, your lungs, your brain, your kidneys, your liver, your nails, your bones, your hair. Everything has water in it, so you need water for your body to function the way it is supposed to. All right? So what do you do as part of your workout? We need all 4 of these things. We're going to talk about them individually. You need cardio, strength training, flexibility, and balance. And a lot of women, especially, become what I call cardio queens. It could be something that's simple. You can go walk, you can go run, get on the bike, get on the elliptical, and we need it. We absolutely need cardio, because that's what cardio, right? It's working on those lungs. That heart. It's also good with our lungs. And then the more we do it, the more our muscles are able to endure, right? So that's what we want. We want to make sure that we're doing cardio that is going to get our heart rate pumping. If you're doing real cardio, you want it to work. You should be breathing harder. You shouldn't be able to just have a full-on conversation for it to be a cardio workout, okay? Now, at this point, we're not talking about just moving. Well, talking about moving, we're talking about it being a cardio workout. Now, do know your heart rate, because something that's interesting about mine that I found out years ago, my heart rate jumps as soon as I start my workouts. So years ago, over 20 years ago, I had to get a stress test where they put the loads on me and put me on a treadmill to see what was going on with my heart. And they put me on a treadmill. They went to the other room to look at the monitors. And within like 2 minutes, they came running back in. Are you okay? And I'm on the treadmill. I'm just running. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. What's up? Then like your heart rate is through the roof. It went up immediately. Your heart rate right now is where most people's heart rate will get to in 10 minutes, but you got there in less than 2. They say, but if you feel fine, keep going, and we're just gonna monitor it. And I finished the test, my heart rate stayed up there, but that's something I know about what my heart rate is. So you need to know what's normal for you and make sure that you're being challenged. And again, when it comes to the cardio, choose the one that you like. What works better for you? Do you like running? Do you like walking? Do you like swimming? Is dancing better for you? Do you like to play sports? Because again, what you like to do is what you're going to continue to do. Now, I mentioned, I'm also a fan of strength training, huge fan of strength training. But let's say this too, strength training does not equal lifting weights. Strength training is providing resistance to your muscle. So it could be body weight, it could be weights, it could be resistance bands, it can be kettlebells, any of those things. So what it's doing is that it's making your muscle stronger, it's protecting your joints, it's helping with your stability. And as we get older, that's very important because falling is one of the top reasons and causes for fatalities as we get older. So we want to make sure that we're strengthening that. Now, you want to work every muscle group, but you want to avoid doing the same muscle group every day. Remember I said earlier, rest is important, rest is needed. Is absolutely needed. So what I encourage you all to do is alternate, right? One day do upper body, one day do lower body, then maybe the next day some cardio, then the next day full body, right? I'm going on 4 days, but just doing all upper body, doing all lower body, that is going to wear those muscles out and will not allow you and your body, your muscles to do what they're supposed to do, right? Now, flexibility. Most people overlook this, and especially as we get older, we need this. We have to protect our joints and our ligaments. If you're not using them, if you're not stretching them out, they will eventually get tight and small, like an old rubber band that you found in a drawer. Now, with stretching, it's not about being completely comfortable. You do want to feel some discomfort, but let me clarify this. Discomfort is different from pain. If you feel pain, you should stop. But you should feel a little discomfort. Nothing grows in the comfort zone. So if you are looking to improve your flexibility, you want to feel a slight tinge of discomfort. Inhale, exhale, breathe into it, and you'll notice that you are able to stretch a little bit more. You can find some good stretching videos online. You can also try yoga, Pilates. All of those will help stretch you out. And again, it'll help you recover after your workout so you're not having as much pain. Or even just in general, if you're not exercising, stretching will help reduce the amount of pain that you feel. And then also it can help protect you from hurting yourself even more. All right. Now, balance training. When was the last time you just tried to see if you could balance on one foot? And I would say this is something I realized I am so grateful for. Years ago, I was at the gym, here in Chicago. It was winter time. So I would wear my workout clothes under sweats and my coat and all of that. So when I got to the gym, I just had to take off the top layer and then go to my workout. And I noticed one day that I was the only one who was able in the gym to balance on one foot while I was taking my pants off. There was an elderly lady who had to sit. There was another lady who was pretty overweight who had to sit. And I was like, wow, I'm able to still do this and I want to maintain that ability. So there's something that we should work on. So you should work on trying to maintain that balance again, because we want to reduce how, if we trip or fall. And an interesting tip, if you balance on your right foot and you struggle with your balance, hold your left ear. The alternating actually helps balance you out. All right. So we want to reduce the chances of falling and hurting ourselves using things like balance discs, Bosu balls. And if you're struggling with it, find something that you can use for stability as you're starting. And then see how frequently, how long you can go with removing your hand and taking your hand off. All right. So what are some stretches? I told you that I would give you all some that you can do. Simple stretches. And a lot of times we fall off from being as active or as fit as we would like because we think we have to do all this extra new stuff that's out there. No. Just go to the old school. Simply stand up, stretch that back out, lean to the side. That works. stretching your neck, chin to chest, rotation, shoulder stretches, back stretches, stretching out your necks, doing a calf stretch, stepping back. There's so many things that you can do. And even if you're seated, you could do a seated cat cow, just tilting your pelvis. You can do all of those things at your desk and still outside of the stand up and reach. But you can sit at your desk, stretch those arms up, and lean side to side to improve that flexibility, right? Now, I know some people are going with right at a little bit less than an hour. If you have any questions, please feel free to unmute because I'm still here for you to answer any questions you may have. I know there was a lot of information, but I hope you were able to, didn't mean to do that. Hope you were able to find something that you can add into your day. So if you need help, like if you're looking for a gym, looking to see what benefits you all may have, please make sure you reach out to the EAP. It's available 24/7. You can just go online or you can call and they will help you find the resources that work for you. And then lastly, if you can use your phone to take a quick picture or to scan this QR code just to give us some feedback on how this training was, that will be very helpful because we just want to make sure that we're providing all the information that you need so that you don't feel like this was not a good usage of your time. So again, I am Crystal Taylor. It has been my pleasure to be here with you all, and hopefully I will see you all again. Keep drinking your water and have an amazing day. All right, bye everybody.